Hello ladies and gentlemen, this is Accumulated Knowledge on PureMTGO.com. I'm Joshua Clater, the Content and Community Manager of the site, and today we have been going over Combo Elves in Pauper. If you're thinking about playing this version of Combo Elves, i.e. the one with Mob Justice and Springleaf Drums, don't do it. Watch my videos. Let me save you the trouble of incinerating all of your tickets. I'm not saying that this deck is bad. I'm saying that I feel this deck is not properly built. Mob Justice is cute. Springleaf Drum takes away from the linear nature of the elf deck itself. Pretty much what you want this deck to be is elves and distant melody. Mob Justice, like I said, cute. It actually won me a game against a mono black control deck. But other than that, it sat in my hand or got sideboarded out because the matchups that I played against today, I was never able to accumulate enough creatures in order for Mob Justice to actually do anything. Take it out of your decks. In fact, if you want to play Combo Elves, let me suggest a different build for you. This build is much more recent. Finished in the top 4 of an event on the 26th of November. So a couple of days, a week maybe. Let's look at this deck instead. We don't have stuff like Springleaf Drum messing up things anymore. We've got new additions in Elvish Mystic. We've got Fyndhorn Elves. We've got one less Nettle Sentinel, but we're making up for that with Sylvan Ranger, which helps you thin your deck of forests or get your island, and Elvish Visionary, which helps to keep your hand full of gas. This is a more linear, more streamlined version of Elves. The sideboard, you've got the Scattershot Archers to deal with mono blue instead of Scattershot Archer and Azuri's Archer. You've got Spider Silk Armor to help deal with Kumbaj Witch and Crypt Rats. You've still got the 3 Well-Wishers against aggro. You don't have a random Well-Wisher clogging up a spot in your main deck where he's not really needed. The only thing I would really like to see are the 4th Ranger and Sentinel in the deck. In fact, if I were going to play this deck right now, which I can't because I'm moto poor because I incinerated all of my tickets, these two guys would be 4-ofs. What would I cut for them? Probably 2 Elvish Mystics. That opens up two more sideboard slots. It helps us with our mana. It helps us combo off. Let's get this back by converted mana cost again. You'll see our 4-drops in Melody and Huntmaster, our 3-drop in Timberwatch Elves, our 2-drops in Sylvan Rangers, Priest, and the card draw in Visionary. We got tricks for days with Ranger, untapped tricks with Nettle Sentinel. We have 4, 8, 9 1-drop mana elves that will accelerate. Excuse me. And we've got the 4 Birchlore Rangers and the 2 Essence Wardens. If I were gonna, since I've made these changes, the changes to the sideboard, we've suddenly got 2 slots open. I would add 2 more Vines of the Vastwood, because that card all day was nuts. So anyways, we took an experiment with the Mob Justice, and it failed horribly. Would I recommend you play this deck in a daily event when daily events fire back again? I can't say for certain because this deck is given fits by mono black control. It felt to me like an impossible matchup to win. Affinity also felt like an impossible matchup to win. But this new build is an entirely new article. So there's more testing that needs to go back into it. There's more gameplay that needs to go back into it. The first version, I didn't feel like there was any real mana issues, but we just weren't linear enough. We took out good elves for Springleaf drums. We took out good elves for mob justices. What we have here, 13 lands, 43 dudes. And 4 spells. That's it. Our plan is to flood the board, cast Distant Melody, flood the board some more, and attack with our massive team. In theory, that should happen. It should happen a lot, actually. In practice, it didn't really do that well, mainly because I think I had so many dead cards in my opener or in my deck that served no purpose whenever I top decked them. In a version like this, each elf does something. It's either going to add a mana to your mana pool, it's going to add another elf to your Distant Melody count, it's going to add another elf to the Huntmaster, it'll add another elf to Timberwatch Elf, it will search for a land, it will draw a card, it'll gain life, it'll fix your mana. This deck is streamlined, it looks like an absolute beast. Also, Spider Silk Armor is pretty good against Electrickery. So, with that said, I am going to consider this episode of Accumulated Knowledge Combo Elves an abject failure. I don't think I played poorly. I don't think the deck played poorly. I do think we ran into a lot of bad matchups. We played Affinity twice. One of the Affinities will be in bonus coverage. We played Mono Black twice. We played the Combo Mirror. We played Mono Blue, which we beat. I think we can beat the Mono Blue decks. But if you're looking for a combo deck, I think you need to look elsewhere. I think you need to look at the one land combo. If you're not expecting a lot of blue, which at this point, who's not expecting a lot of blue? Or you need to look at the Denizen combo deck. Pauper's a wonderful format. It allows stuff like this to exist. It allows stuff like the Denizen combo and the one land land grant combo to exist. But it's still a pretty powerful format, even though you're just in the realm of commons. Today was a day that will not be forgotten by me for a long time. We tried a deck, it didn't work out, and that's okay. That's the great part about Magic, is you learn, or you play your games, you learn, you move on. You don't have to be hung up about your win-loss record. It is a game. I had a blast playing the deck. It reminded me a lot of the Pro Tour Berlin Elf deck. I mean, granted, we don't have Glimpse of Nature, but Distant Melody does do a fairly good job at being a Glimpse of Nature facsimile. If you're looking to buy the deck ran me under $25. And I still don't have Spider Silk Armors for it yet, and that's on me. So, will I suggest playing the new build? Yes, I have more faith in it. I think the more linear nature of it all just being all elves and Distant Melodies makes it better. I think the sideboard is better. I think it's less convoluted. And I don't mean to knock on the Mob Justice creator slash builder slash player. It's just that I believe with Mob Justice and Springleaf Drums, the deck became less focused. And that's really hard to say when you go from 43 creatures to 38, because we were short a land as well. Uh, I don't want to make this wrap-up article or this wrap-up video last too long. I've got to upload it. I've got to upload some modern videos. So, with that being said, I'm going to wrap up this edition of Accumulated Knowledge, Combo Elves. I appreciate you watching here on YouTube or PureMTGO.com. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, yes, I know that's a giant fan buzzing. I don't know how to make it any quieter. It's the best I can do right now. I'm sorry if it sounds like I'm yelling. I'm not. I'm just a pretty passionate guy and I get loud. So, again, I want to thank you for bearing with me and bearing with the losses of today's article. And we will be back next week, next Monday, on our Pure MTGO Pauper Mondays with a look at a different Pauper deck. I am Joshua Clater. Thank you again for watching, and have a great week.